You're watching Fugitive Redeye, and welcome to another episode of Redeye Raw. Today I'm going to talk about something that really annoys the shit out of me. And that's those fucking music channels in the comments below. The ones that are like, hey, you want to be YouTube friends? You know what I'm talking about, right? On literally every comment section ever, you'll come across all these channels that are promoting themselves, but they're trying to be subtle about it. For instance, some of them will only say things like nice content or good content, great content. I think the worst one I ever saw was one I got a while back on my do not put a demo disc in a modded Xbox video. And the comment said something like, this is a re-upload, question mark? Or no, he said, this is a re-upload, period. Haha, question mark. When's your next video? You're great, or some stupid shit like that. But it's like, okay, first off, it wasn't a re-upload. Second off, what, haha? Like a question? What the fuck? But none of these comments are from real people. They're all from these channels that very clearly use bots to use some sort of algorithm to just generate all these comments. I'm not going to say any channel names, but there was literally one that had the phrase sub to me as part of his channel name. They also all have very similar thumbnails. They'll have like a little avatar with like a mustache and a hat, or they'll have some sort of like doodle that's like supposed to be this cool, hip, new-looking symbol. They'll also constantly contain phrases such as track or trap, which I guess that means they're gay, because traps are gay. Fight me. No, but in all seriousness, those channels are very annoying. And the reason I call them music channels is you go over, and they all have the same faggy electro dance music, and that's all they have. And it's just royalty-free stuff that I don't even think they made. I think it's just a bunch of copy and paste shit. But they'll constantly say shit like, you know, oh, great content, keep it up, can't wait for your next video, would you like to be YouTube friends? Or, wow, nice content, when's your next video? Let's build each other up, smiley face. Stupid shit like that. And, oh, I'm here before you have this many subscribers, when's your next video, etc. It's like, it's always very, very samey. Like, if it was just once or twice, I wouldn't care. And I'm not gonna, like, jump down people's throats if they self-promote, but it is annoying. On a somewhat related note, I also hate it when people will leave a comment on what's clearly a burner account to try and get me to promote something on their real account. This happened once before with this, like, Hey Arnold fanfiction thing, and I almost reviewed it, but then I didn't because I'm like, this is fucking stupid. It was like this Hey Arnold fanfiction they made and, like, posted in the comments of my Hey Arnold Jungle movie review. And they posted it on a channel that had just been created, like, that same day. And they were only subscribed to the channel that had that video on it. And they're like, hey, you should check out this video. I think it's really underrated. It's like, never address your own content as underrated. If I can teach anyone that, don't do that, okay? It's cringy, and it makes you sound like you have a fucking ego. Don't do that. I myself have never once tried to judge my own content. I only let other people be the judge of it, and I think that's how everyone should do it. I mean, granted, I've judged some of my videos harshly, ones that I think are genuinely bad, like my old Ape Escape episode of Flashbacks, where I had Halo gameplay instead of Ape Escape. That was a god-awful video. As were most of the stuff I made when I was using Upload Studio. They were terrible. But you cannot be the judge if your own stuff is underrated. That is for the masses to decide. I can't judge if I'm underrated. I personally would never guess that because I'm not. I'm just some guy who makes videos. People who have that mindset have a fucking ego. And when people are upfront with me and they want me to check out their stuff, I'll do it. For instance, there's a Devilman Lady fanfiction comic I have saved in a PDF somewhere that I'm genuinely going to review someday, because they asked me, hey, can you check this out? And I skimmed it, and it looked alright. That was good, because they were straightforward with me. They're like, hey, I did this, can you check it out? It's not like, hey, I found this video that totally wasn't made by me, I promise. Can you review it? I think it's underrated. I don't like that kind of being disingenuous, which is why I decided not to review that Hey Arnold fan animation thing, even though it was actually kind of decent. Like, it was something, like, about some bus driver who, like, lost his wife or some shit, and it was actually kind of in tone with the kind of stuff you'd see in Hey Arnold. But because of the way they asked me, hey, can you check this out? I think it's underrated, and then I find out it's clearly made by them. It's like, dude, if you'd have just been honest with me, I would have been like, okay, sure. And on top of that, you know, I mean, just promoting yourself in the comments is tacky. It's very tacky. I think we've all been guilty of it at one point or another. I used to actually like there was once when someone did a video related to something I did, and I'm like, hey, I did a video on this, which, again, nobody called me out on that, surprisingly. But, I mean, you know, it was just a comment that got lost in the comments, so it's not that big a deal. And I would never do something like that now. Like, I mean, if something's super relevant, I might leave a link to it. If, like, someone asks a question or something, and I leave my thing as a response, like, not so much right now, because, like I said, I haven't really been active in comment sections while during my temporary, like, half return, but, point is, we've all probably shielded ourselves at one point or another if we're making videos, because, let's face it, everyone wants recognition. I'm not going to say that people don't. I don't do what I do for recognition, but boy do I appreciate the fact that I have fucking 700 people who watch the shit I put out, and they enjoy it. I'm so happy about that, and granted, they don't watch everything. I average around between 20 to 50 views per video, and I'm ecstatic about that. That's way more than I would have ever wanted. And these shitty, like, music channels have way more subscribers than that, and they're reaching out to people with minuscule, tiny channels like myself, as well as big channels. I see them in PewDiePie comment sections. I see them in fucking every comment section. So it's not like they're picking and choosing. But to just do that is fucking tacky as shit. And whatever bot they're using to do it should get shut down. Speaking of bots, does anyone remember those, like, Your Melina or Your Angelica bots that were like, I made a video of you. I love you. Click here. And then you go to their channel, and they have, like, this shady-ass looking link in their description. It's like, I don't want to click that. If you do, it's just going to lead you to a virus porn site. I've seen it before. Which I knew fully what it was. I knew it was going to be some bullshit. But I remember I tested it out once just because I'm like, what the fuck is this? Never do that. That's a bad idea. Like, luckily it wasn't anything illegal, but it clearly would have given my computer malware if I wasn't being smart about it. And granted, this was like 2 or 3 years ago, mind you. This thing was like an old news, you know? But I'd rather take those annoying porn bots over these music bots, because those ones I can just ban, report for spam. I do the same thing with these channels, too. Like, this is the one instance where I'm okay with just removing them from my comments, because they're bots. They're not real people typing comments. I allow pretty much anything in my comments. People can say the most vile shit, and I'll typically let it go. Like, granted, I draw the line at doxing or spreading personal information, or, you know, trying to ruin someone's life, things like that. And I'll probably step in if people say, like, people start, like, trying to start, like, big political debates and shit and just start a fucking comment war. I'd probably, you know, at the very least, say, hey, knock that off. Like, I probably wouldn't ban anyone or remove any comments, because, again, I believe in an open discourse about pretty much anything in my comments. But spam bots can get the fuck out of here. They're the one thing that I will not tolerate. Especially if they have malware. But it's also if they have those annoying music channels with their shitty royalty-free music, and they're just like, hey, you want to be YouTube friends? I remember there was another one where it's like, hey, you want some free music for your video? Check out my channel. And again, all of these are comments that I see the exact same comment on every video I see them on. So that's how I know they're not real people. Not to mention, my last, my snack review that I did, it had 3 different channels of this type commenting, you know, hey, great content, good content. Wow, great stuff. I like. Keep it up. You know, shit like that. Here before 800 subscribers. Would you like to be YouTube friends? Of course, I removed all of those and banned those channels from my comments. Again, those are the only instances when I will, is when it's bots. I mean, there might be other extreme circumstances, like, you know, doxing and things like that. But for the most part, my comments are the most open comment section I can allow. Like, granted, YouTube itself has that stupid autofilter that won't show comments unless you have it set to newest first, because if you see top comments, which is always selected by default for some goddamn reason, it only shows you the ones that they've deemed appropriate, because it removes potentially offensive comments. Like, they're still there, you just gotta change it so that you can see them by switching to newest first. Anyway, that's probably enough about this. I fucking hate those fucking channels. They'd probably be okay if they weren't spamming every fucking comment section on this website. But that's what they do. That's what they do. Anyway, I've probably rambled on enough, so toodles.